In this set of problems, the goal right here is to practice writing our system, and then from there you'll have to solve it. This one says 6 apples and 3 oranges cost $1.77. 2 apples and 5 oranges cost $1.27. So we're going to need to start with our system. We're going to name A as apples, and in this case here I'm going to use a cursive O to represent oranges. So it's telling me 6 times the cost of the apple plus 3 times the cost of the orange should equal a total of $1.77. And then it gives me another situation in which it says 2 times the cost of the apple plus 5 times the cost of the orange is equal to $1.27. And this is our system. Now, because the system has decimals, you have 2 options here. You can not deal with the decimals, and we can go ahead and clear it. And just for the sake of practicing that, we're going to clear these. So if you'll notice that there's 2 numbers behind the decimal here, we're going to want to move this decimal 2 places to the right. So every term has the decimal moved 2 places to the right. When I do that, I get the number 600 times A, plus move the decimal behind the 3 2 places to the right would create the number 300 times the O, and then that's going to equal, when we move our decimal 2 places to the right, 177. Same thing happens here with the 2. We're going to move it 2 places to the right, 200 times A, and then we're going to move the decimal on the 5 2 places to the right, so 500 times O equals, and when we move that 2 places to the right, it's 127. Now, we don't have to do that. Again, this is just me modeling how you could clear out decimals if you didn't want to deal with them. These are in standard form, so probably the best way to deal with this is to go ahead and solve by elimination. So, with that said, I'm going to go for changing this one down here because I already have a 600A, so I'm going to leave that one alone. So I'm going to do 600A plus 300 times the O is equal to 177. And then I'm going to multiply this by negative 3. So I get negative 600A, and then it would be minus 1500 O is equal to, and I'm going to pull up my calculator for this one real fast, negative 381. Now we're ready to combine these and add straight down. These will cancel, and then I'm going to be left with negative 1200 O when I add 300 plus negative 1500, and then I'm going to have negative 204 here. So we will divide both sides by this negative 1200, and of course you're saying, ooh, that's not a whole number. That's fine, because it just means that our oranges have a certain value in which they cost in cents, and they are 0.17 or 17 cents. So then we'll take this answer and we'll plug it in. 6 times A plus 3 times, and I'm using this equation here, 3 times my 17 cents is equal to $1.77. So I have 6 times A plus 3 times 17 cents is 51 cents is equal to $1.77. Subtract the 51 cents from $1.77, and I get 6A is equal to $1.26. Now we're going to divide both sides by 6, and the cost of an apple is 21 cents. So we're going to write this out. Apples cost 21 cents, and oranges cost 17 cents each. That's my final answer. Now the next 2, again, we're just going to practice writing this system rather than actually solving it right now. You can solve that later. The perimeter of a rectangle is 48 meters. Now let's go ahead and draw a rectangle. We know a rectangle is made up of length and width. So to find the perimeter is typically equal to 2 times the length, 2 times the width plus 2 times the length. Now, it says that the width of the rectangle is 2 more than half the length. So the width of the rectangle is, remember, is means equals, 2 more than, which means that comes second, 2 more than half of the length. So now we're going to plug in some information. You say, well, I've got 3 letters here. Well, that's okay, because we're going to replace perimeter with what it's equal to. Here's my first equation. Here's my second equation. The perimeter is equal to 2 of the width plus 2 of the length. How would I solve this? Probably by substitution, since I already have W isolated. So from here, you would go ahead and solve. When you solve, it would be 48 is equal to 2 times my width, which I'm going to plug in as 1/2 the length plus 2. And then I still have my plus 2L. Now we have 48 is equal to, don't forget to distribute this 2 to both pieces. This will cancel out here in the fraction, so I'm left with L. And then I have 2 times 2, which is 4, plus 2L. So then that would be 48 is equal to 3L plus 4. So we subtract 4 from both sides, and 44 is equal to 3L. This is not going to be a very pretty number. So the length is equal to about 14 2/3. So now we're going to plug that in and pick any piece. I'm going to actually pick this one here. W is equal to 1/2 times the length, 14 2/3, plus 2. And from here, because you're allowed to use calculators, I'm going to go ahead and put that in. And I'm going to get 9 1/3. So I have a length of 14 2/3 meters and a width of 9 1/3 meter. That's my final answer.